everyone, it's Sharonda from Pay Your Weights, and today I'm going to be reviewing Euphoria Season 2, Episode 4, You Cannot See, Think of Those Who Can. So, there was a lot happening. I can't believe some of y'all who really say don't nothing be happening, but a whole bunch be happening. I don't get it, but we're going to talk a little bit more about it as we get into this episode, because I think that this is a great midway point episode to show us where all of our characters stand right now. They're all kind of in this moment of despair, or this moment of uncertainty about what the future actually holds for them. But before I get into this week's episode, I do want to remind all of you that after you watch this, I am doing the live after show for Euphoria. So we'll be in a live environment where we can talk a little bit more about this week's episode, what to expect for the rest of the season. So just make sure as soon as you get done with this video, go ahead and click into that live chat, and so we can have a good little time and have some conversation about it. Okay? All right. So let's start with Rue. Okay, because, I kind of called this, that I was like, Rue, Jules, and Elliot, it just didn't sit right in my spirit, y'all. It wasn't sitting right in my spirit. And the episode opens up in really a beautiful montage, like a callback to paintings and painters and famous, iconic films that we've all grown up on or watched. And so it opens up with, Jules is showing Rue what that mouth do, okay? And we hear Rue in a voiceover saying, I don't think you understand how much I love Jules. And I find this statement so interesting from Rue, because after watching, the first couple of episodes of the season, now that we're on episode 4 at the midway point, it's weird. Last season, I truly believed the love that Rue had for Jules. And now it feels as though it's kind of like that thing that you wanted, that you anticipated for so long. And once you have it, it's almost not the same. Like you take it for granted now, almost as if you were more excited about wanting something or someone that you couldn't have. And now that you have it, I don't know, it feels like that honeymoon phase or the butterflies phase that is over. And it's interesting that she talks about like how we don't understand how much she loves Jules, because she spends this episode and really the whole season kind of pushing Jules away, gaslighting Jules, lying to Jules. And, sometimes we do lie to those people that we love, but it feels as though that Rue is really taking Jules for granted in this relationship now that she actually gets to be with her. And so we see these montages, callbacks. We see a little bit, shout out to Frida Kahlo. I was like, look at y'all represent for Frida. But we saw the Snow White, which was really funny because she was like, I guess I had no choice but to consent. And then the Brokeback Mountain sent me in Titanic. All these different love story callbacks, but also too, tragic loves that all of these people experience, whether in films or also too in real life. And I think it's interesting to depict that, especially because Jules and Rue's relationship is tragic in a sense. It's beautiful when you hear the way that she expresses her love for her, but also too, Rue is torturing Jules at the same time. And we get to see this more, in this episode. And so she talks about like, this is her first time. I'm assuming this is her first time with someone going down on her. And, Jules really loves Rue, because to spend 20 plus minutes and Rue is just sitting there talking about, oh, it's amazing. Baby, I didn't see no legs quiver. I didn't see you shaking. I didn't see you try to stop. Like, sis, is it good? Because it don't seem like it's good. But then Rue lets us know that she is under the influence of so many different drugs that she literally cannot feel anything. And so she just keeps saying it's amazing to encourage Jules so she doesn't realize that something is wrong. And then when she asks her like, okay, it's amazing, boo, but it don't feel like you about to come anytime soon. And then Rue fakes an orgasm, which leads me to believe that she either has never had an orgasm or she just did not care that she was faking her orgasm so bad. And so Jules immediately realizes that, like, did this bitch, hold on, did she? And she asked Rue, like, did you just fake an orgasm? And she was like, no, it was amazing. I was like, girl, if you say amazing one more time, I'm going to scream. So Jules ends up going to talk to Elliot, which first of all is just like a big no-no. I know they're in high school and you talk to your high school friends about what's going on, but I just feel like relationship things, like you got to talk to your partner, especially when it's something sexual that is happening. But Elliot is just like, I don't know, I just find Rue to be a very lazy person that wouldn't even take the time to fake an orgasm. And maybe that's showing like, hey, maybe she really does love Jules because she faked the orgasm. She took all the energy that she had, which is barely any because she don't be doing nothing but doing drugs, to give her a fake orgasm. Maybe that's how Rue just decides that she wants to show love to Jules. And so when Jules reenacted what she did, like how she faked this orgasm, and Ellie was like, oh, yeah, she definitely faked it. But when he called her out and said, maybe you don't know how to eat, kitty cat, and I was just like, oh, not you calling Jules out. And then she said, like, the fact that she wasn't able to make Rue come, it made her feel like a man. And he was like, what you mean? And she was like, because, you know, men don't know how to eat cat. I was like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to be a virgin because my parents might be watching. And I know y'all be thinking I be tripping when I say my parents be watching, but literally my mother called me the other day and said, I saw you drinking with your friends. She's talking about y'all. Drinking with your friends, having cocktails and stuff. So obviously, and I know my daddy be snitching. So if you watching it, I know you out there snitching on me. So I'm just not gonna have no comment on whether or not dudes can eat cat or not because, just right now, since the block is hot, that's not my experience, all right? So we see that Elliot shows her, okay, like, let me teach you how to eat cat. And so he was like showing her, and it was looking like he was really doing something because the way that Jules was looking at him, I was like, oh, girl, dang, he getting you hot and bothered from kissing on your hand? Okay, Elliot. And so then he coached her through it, which clearly I guess she wasn't good because he was really having to coach her through this. And then at the end, when he made the fake orgasm, but then he licked his hand, I was like, did I get a little bothered and a little hot? I did. I'm not gonna lie, I did. So when Jules kissed him, I was like, you know how I feel about Jules and Rue already. But when he did that, I'm not gonna lie, that was sexy. And if y'all don't want to admit that and I gotta be the only person to say that, fine. I don't mind saying it. I said it. It was sexy. So when she kissed him, I said, you know what, baby? I have issues with this, but I can't even be mad at you in that moment. So they start getting all hot and bothered, kissing and stuff like they finna get it on. And then he gets a text message from Rue saying that she's outside. And so then, he's like, well, let me just tuck my little tuck my peen in. And, Jules had to readjust herself as well. Rue comes up there, they acting like everything is okay. They're dancing, having fun. And then Rue goes to the bathroom, of course, to do drugs. And when Elliot goes into the bathroom after her. But before that, the fact that Elliot and Jules were so bold to like be kissing when Rue is literally like in the bathroom, not far away. I was just like, y'all are just getting really bold with this. But they play it off as soon as she comes back and gets in the bed. Even though it was funny because I was like, y'all lucky that Rue on drugs because everyone could have sensed the sexual tension on how y'all just immediately backed away when she came out of the bathroom. But Elliot goes to the bathroom, I guess, to tuck his peen again. But he sees that Rue left him some drugs, but he blows it away. And it starts to seem like he's starting to get a guilty conscience. Doesn't seem to be about him and Jules kissing, but about the fact that Rue keeps doing drugs, and this is something that he's keeping from Jules. So we see that when she comes out, Rue kisses Elliot, and then Jules, who's clearly jealous. I was like, girl, you can't even be cheating on people because you get too jealous just with Rue doing stuff in front of you, okay? So she dares him to kiss, they kiss, and then Jules dares Elliot to like lick her stomach, and then she's looking at Rue like, did that make you jealous? And I'm like, girl, Rue's so high, she don't even know what's going on. Like, she could truly care less. But Elliot comes up with this idea that they're going to go steal liquor. And this is where I got confused. So they end up stealing the liquor. Elliot goes into the store, calling old dude Kramer from Seinfeld, making jokes at him. First, I was confused as to, you guys want to go steal liquor, but you stole, I think it was like, what do they call it? White Claw, the seltzers. I was like, what are these? You know how many seltzers you got to drink before you actually feel something? So when they're in the car and Rue's on a whole bunch of drugs, but when he's telling like, hey, you can't drink that, like that's bad. I'm like, baby, it's barely any alcohol in this. But what confused me the most is when Jules called Rue out about, hey, like, why are you drinking? You shouldn't be drinking. And I'm like, well, if she shouldn't have been drinking, then why are you guys going to the liquor store to steal liquor in the first place? That made no freaking sense to me whatsoever. Why are you guys doing things in front of Rue when you know that she's like on this path to recovery? And I understand they're high school kids, but at the end of the day, because Jules be so concerned when Rue started doing something, but not concerned at the fact that she clearly has to see that Rue is on drugs, but maybe there's Jules just trying to ignore and be in this state of bliss with Rue because they're finally together. I don't know. I feel like Jules is running away from her own set of issues. But I just found that whole exchange to be weird. But then Rue got real mean, and she was basically like, Elliot, take me home. And she says that she basically says that she can't effing stand Jules right now, when Jules is like, why do you want to go home? And she's like, I don't feel like arguing. I don't feel like dealing with none of this mess. Like, I'm just trying to have peace right now. She didn't say all of that, but we were just trying to feel her high. And so she literally got out on the side of the highway. She took her bike and rode her bike home, sneaks into the house. Not really, because she's causing all this noise. And I don't know how deep of a sleep her mama is, or her mama worked third shift somewhere. But the fact that she didn't hear all of that commotion in the house at night, I just be confused sometimes. I know we're supposed to accept that the parents of Euphoria are not there, except for Cassie's mom and Nate's parents, his raggedy ass daddy and his mom. But I was just like, your mama be missing a lot of things, and I don't be understanding, because it's not like she doesn't know that you've done drugs before. So like, I just don't understand why there wouldn't be like a little bit more accountability. But maybe Rue's gaslighting plan is working, so I don't know. But when she gets home, she ends up doing more drugs. But in the meantime, Elliot and Jules, they come back to his place. She was like, can I take a shower? And I was like, what do you need to take a shower for at Elliot's place? It ain't like y'all was doing nothing too crazy. So she takes a shower, and then she's like getting dressed. She's like, can I wear a shirt? And then she takes her towel off and puts a shirt on. I'm just like, Jules, you're doing too much right now, okay? You're doing way too much. You're being way too thirsty. When she turned her phone off, I already knew what she was finna do. She tried to get it on in the boom boom room with Elliot, and it seemed like Elliot is into it, and then Elliot's just like, no, I gotta tell you something. And so he tells Jules that Rue is on drugs, and he knows this because he's doing drugs with Rue as well. And so Jules has this fear in her face, this betrayal, and she sheds a tear. And later we see that it seemed like Elliot and Jules had sex, because Jules was completely naked and she had put a whole shirt on. So I feel like they did have sex, because it didn't look like Elliot had on clothes either. So it seems like even after he told her that, they still decided to have sex. Let me know in the comment section below, did you think she did or she didn't? Child, I don't know, but that's just what I'm thinking. Okay, so we see that Rue, when she's high, she hears this singing, and then she walks into this church. Obviously, she is hallucinating from drugs at this point. And we see Labyrinth's voice is so beautiful and angelic. And so the fact that he is singing, the fact that Labyrinth is singing in this church, I just thought that it was so super cute. So yeah. So I like how they show, like, she sees Jules and Elliot in the church, and when she hugs Labyrinth, and I like how he has the same color jacket as the sweatshirt that her dad wore. And we kind of go back into, we're seeing her with Labyrinth, we're seeing her with her dad, which I thought is really beautiful. And then she just breaks down, as she hugs both of them. And we see that she tells her dad, like, I'm sorry I let you down, because I'm not a good person. And then he says, that isn't the truth. And she was like, you don't know me anymore. And he says, like, I do know you because I'm always with you. And so she says that she misses him so much, and she breaks down. It's almost like she has this sense of clarity about her issue, but also too, like, I don't know if when she says she misses him, I don't know if she's like just chasing death at this point, or she just is so out of control that she's completely lost who she is at her core. But we see, they cut to reality, looking out in the window, she's dancing by herself. So I thought that whole exchange is really beautiful, how they kind of did that backdrop. Even when she gets high and you kind of see the water reflecting on her face, I thought it was really cute. But I don't know what's going to happen with this whole, Elliot's clearly still pushing for this threesome. Every chance he gets, he'd be like, maybe we should just all have sex. And I'm like, Elliot, I don't think they're here for your plan. But now that Jules knows what has happened, that Rue has relapsed, I wonder what she's going to do. I haven't seen the previews yet, so y'all don't be like in the preview instead. Baby, I ain't seen this preview yet, okay? But I will probably say that the issue is about to hit the fan now that Jules knows what is happening with her. Now, some little things happen. Lexi, she's casting the role of Cassie for a play. I love how they play with reality in her play, as Lexi is literally like art imitating life. She's taking these conversations that she's having with Cassie, these arguments that she has with her, and really putting that into her play as well. We do see that there's going to be trouble for Fesco when Faye's boyfriend, I keep forgetting this man's name, I'm sorry, baby. But Faye's boo comes back and comes banging on the door, basically saying that Mouse's baby mama showed up asking questions. And so I don't know what's going to happen with him, but clearly things aren't going to be too good once they find out that Ashtray killed Mouse. And I'll touch on Kat as we get into what is going on with Maddie, Nate, Cassie, and we will end with Cal. So the girls are celebrating Maddie's birthday, and Cassie gives her this really beautiful scrapbook. Like, Maddie is like crying looking at this scrapbook, and I'm just sitting here looking like, she's still trash. She's still raggedy. She still ain't ish, okay? Even Cassie's sitting up here looking so guilty. But the way that they always show Lexi looking at Cassie like, Beesh, I know you hiding something. I can't put my finger on it. And she's always like lurking from the background, like giving her a look. And I'm just like, does no one see Lexi giving Cassie these looks but me? I don't know. Maybe that goes into how Cassie's supposed to be this like background forgotten character. I don't know. So, we see that Nate has been spending time with Maddie. We saw at the end of last week's episode that he ditched Cassie and went to go meet up with Maddie where she's babysitting. They have a really interesting and like heartbreaking at the same time conversation, because their love story is so tragic as well, and it's so toxic. And, she kind of sees the good in Nate when he's spending time with the little boy, how he's so good with him, and how he sees how Maddie so easily adjusts into like the life of, playing mom to this kid, being in this house. And so they see the good in each other, but it takes them to see that when they're not in a relationship together, but when they're together, it's so toxic. And we see when Maddie tells Nate, like, I feel like you ruined me forever. And then he asks her, or she asks him, like, what did she say? She said, why did he love her? I don't know why I was struggling with that. And then he said that he still does love her, but he says, because you're smart and you're kind of cruel, but not really cruel. And I was like, these are not the reasons that I would want someone explaining to me why they love me. And she asked him, she said like she even thought that she was cruel, but she didn't realize that she wasn't until they took this time apart, until she wasn't with him. And so she basically then she says that, she said, did he ever feel that, she loved him, or did he feel loved by her? And when he says, I don't know, it breaks her heart. But also, too, it just goes to show how broken of a person who Nate is, and how Nate really doesn't know who he is, nor has he received that love to really understand what love should feel like. Because he's only been in he has a toxic relationship with his father, toxic relationship with Maddie, and him and Cassie even have this toxic relationship. And so we see later that he has an argument with Cassie because Cassie knows that he's been hanging out with Maddie. And I was like, Cassie, when she said, like, I wouldn't have slept with you if I knew y'all was going to get back together, baby, you shouldn't open your legs to Nate in the first place, okay? First, because you are Maddie's best friend. Second, because Nate is trash. He's trash, okay? I said Cassie not going to make me mad no more. I said she wasn't going to make me mad no more. I'm not going to give this energy to Cassie because she don't want to love herself first. Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me, okay? Cassie, I just want more for her, more than what she actually wants for herself right now. So, Nate basically is like, look, you're obviously afraid that I'm still in love with Maddie and that if I get back to her, I won't be with you and you're going to do everything that you can do to destroy it. And then she's like, no, I don't want you guys together because you are toxic for each other. You are bad for each other. And I was just like, so if you know how toxic Nate is, why are you still sleeping with him? Obviously, I know clearly he has to have some good pain at this point for you to keep doing this to yourself. After he left you to go hang out with Maddie, why are you sleeping with him? So Cassie tells Nate that she doesn't care what happens and that she'll do everything to prevent Nat and Maddie getting together. Then Nate messed up and called her Maddie by mistake, so she really lost it. And then Cassie said, one thing that you need to understand is that I am crazier, okay? So you should be afraid of that. And I am convinced that Cassie is crazier than, she's crazier than Maddie. And I would be afraid of her at this point in time. So Nate is just like, what the F is wrong with you? That's like, okay, because we all asking this question, what is wrong with you, Cassie? And so then, she basically says, she basically walks away. She walks away. She has this weird facial expression that really made me afraid of her. She walks away, and then as she's leaving, she tells him that she doesn't care what. Basically, she's gonna do whatever she can do to tear him apart. And when she's leaving, Nate was like, Cassie, I love you. And it sounded so fake. And then she has this smile, but she leaves anyway. So Maddie is having a birthday party at Cassie's house. Cassie's mom was letting them drink. And I was just like, say what y'all want to say. I definitely knew parents who let us drink at their houses, and my parents were watching. I was just watching them drink. But I probably was just watching them drink because I don't drink beer and all of that. I've just never been a fan. But yeah, so I saw Cassie's mom. She was dropping it. She was like bending it over. Okay, I said, okay, girl, go ahead and do whatever the hell you doing. Why was Maddie clapping off beat to This Is How We Do It? I felt like this is how we do it. Like, it's an easy clap, okay? You got a couple of counts. Like, what? I don't know what Maddie was doing. I was really disappointed. So we see that Maddie saw that something was wrong with Kat, and then she's kind of asking Kat what happened. And Kat tells her, like, I can't stand Ethan. And it's just weird because this awesome thing happens, but I'm not happy. And Maddie does give her good advice, even though I wish, like, baby, you should take your advice yourself. But Maddie was just like, there's a difference between what you want and what you should want. And, like, if it doesn't feel, like, do what feels good to you. It doesn't matter. And I think we've all been there. I've dated someone who was, like, a really good guy, but I just didn't feel that connection. And everybody was just like, what is wrong with you? And it was just like, I had to live for myself and not for everybody else. So I like that she was able to, like, give her that advice and, they can go have fun. Still just goes to how Kat does not have a storyline this season. But we see that Cassie opens the door, and Nate is Nate. And then she's all excited to see him. He's like, hey, is Maddie there? And he just walked right past her. I was like, girl, the way that you just embarrass yourself every single episode, it is just sad. It is, like Maddie said later in the episode, it is tragic to watch this fall from grace from you, okay? For all of this, you should just stay with McKay. You should just stay with McKay. So, Nate ends up giving Maddie like a Tiffany's necklace. And I was just sitting there like, how much money, like, where does Nate, I know his parents got money, but y'all just giving out Tiffany's necklace money? Like, this Tiffany's necklace a couple hundred. I wasn't getting that type of gifts until college. So I was just wondering where Nate got all this money. Cassie sitting up there looking sick to her stomach, watching him put the necklace on her. Lexi staring from out in the shadows, staring at her crazy like she always do. But we see that Cassie should be dead after this episode. Like, to see, Cassie was drinking beer, seltzer. She was drinking them Smirnoff Ice. I cannot, to this day since college, I cannot drink those little Smirnoff Ice things. She was drinking wine. Cassie drank so much different alcohol. I was like, you should be dead. Like, you should just be dead at this point because you just mixing all these different liquors. I was just like, clearly, you don't want to be on this earth. And you were drinking all that cheap liquor, too. I didn't see her drink not one nice quality thing ever. Her mama disrespectful for giving them whack liquor, okay? Don't do that. You shouldn't be giving them kids that. You could have gave them something good to drink. You could have made them sex on the beach, amaretto sour, something. Not no damn Smirnoff ice coolers. Don't, no. So she's drunk as hell. She danced at this party by herself all crazy. I like how they mix in between her and Cal's total downward spiral this episode. Maddie and Nader, he was like, does she always do this? And she was like, no, but when she drinks, it's like totally tragic. So what really sent me was when everyone goes to the hot tub and Cassie like jumps into the hot tub and like falls all over Nate. I was just like, girl, you're doing way too much. But seeing Nate and Maddie argue because she was mad at how she first said that they weren't together, and then he was like, no, we're not, and then she got upset. I was like, girl, you're not tired of arguing? Then try to say he was gaslighting her, and I was like, no, not to take away that he probably has done that before, but Nate was just he was co-signing what you said, boo-boo. But I like when Kat checked, she's like, you don't think I can think for myself? When he was like, of course she's going to take your side. You think she's going to say anything different? Kat was like, hey, boo-boo, you might talk to Maddie crazy, but what you're not going to do, you're not going to talk to me crazy, hoe. Say it again and see what happened, okay? So in the midst of all of her going off, like, see, this is stuff I be talking about. She called him a C word. And then she was like, you be like, oh, I love you. I want to be with you. I want to go to school with you. I want you to come with me to go to school. I want to marry you. I want you having babies. Baby, when Cassie threw up, it was so disgusting. But can I just say how Sydney Sweeney has been acting this hysterical Cassie that we've seen all season, this like unstable Cassie. Sydney has really been putting in work, and I just want to make sure that I give her props. But it was how her mama struggled to get her out of the hot tub. She's like, can somebody help me? No, beach, because she done threw up on everybody and they're grossed out. And then when she saw her mom, Nate was coming up to give Maddie a towel and not take care of Cassie, and how Cassie's mom is bringing her up, and then she's like still having this breakdown looking at Nate crying. I was like, honey, that is embarrassing, okay? It's just, I just can't. So let's talk about our other downward spiral of the episode with Cal. We see that Cal got his head wrapped up from getting his ass beat by Ashtray, pulls out the Jeep. He's drinking and driving. There were so many times that I thought Cal was going to die this episode. And the fact that he's still alive the fact that him and Cassie are alive after this episode is just really amazing to me. So he ends up going back to the bar where him and Derek were at. I was dying laughing when he asked the black dude, he's like, hey, can I have a cigarette? Then he's like, can I have a smoke? And the way he handed his cigarette lighter to him, like, bitch, is there anything else that you want? Because you don't know me and you asking for all of my stuff. So he ends up dancing with this guy. And we see that he imagines that it's Derek, and he says, like, I thought I lost you. But then he comes back to reality. He's drunk. He tried to start wrestling the dude. They end up kicking Cal out. He gets all upset, like, no, you can't kick me out. I was just like, sir, you are a mess too. I need you and Cassie to take y'all ass home and just stay there. Actually, I need you to go home, shower, get your life together, and then just check yourself into rehab or therapy session, because there's a lot that both of you need to unpack. And I feel like both of you can be saved. I just think you need to let it all out. But Cal said, you know what? I'm going to let it all out tonight, okay? So Cal comes home drunk, slamming doors, laughing, being loud, and then he started pissing right in the middle of the floor. And I was like, is he is. So then Marshall comes out like, baby, what is you doing? And then he got his dick is out this whole last 10 minutes, his dick is out the whole scene, okay? So Cal, after Cal is like causing this ruckus, and then Marshall asks like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I think I'm lonely. And then Aaron comes out. He asks him to put his penis away. Then Nate comes out like, what is going on right now? And so Cal is telling this story to them, going through this whole like monologue with his dick out the whole time. Then he starts saying, I'm a man, I'm an animal. And then he was like, he asked Marshall, like, do you know how many men I slept with? And they was like, yo, whoa, why you doing all of this in front? Like, what is going on? And so Cal is basically said, like, he was like, you know what? I had sex with a man for the first time when you were in your mom's stomach. So Aaron is the oldest, Nate is the middle, and Ashtray, and I'm going to get to that why I say Ashtray, is the baby, okay? So he then goes off on his brothers, and he was right. He was like, now, if I said I went to like a strip club, banged a woman with nice breasts, y'all wouldn't be like, oh, that's disgusting. Like, you would just be like, yo, why are you saying it in front of mom? But y'all wouldn't be appalled. And then he was like, I'm going to F whoever I want. I'm going to F men, women, trans people. He was like, and I'm going to have a good time doing it. I said, okay, Cal, go ahead and speak your damn truth. This is not the way to speak it, but if you're going to say it, then go ahead and say it. Like I said, a drunk man's talk is a sober man's thought. So Marsha said, I'm done with this. I'm taking my ass to bed. I ain't got time to fool with you. Notice that she wasn't appalled by what he said, so she must have knew that he was interested in men as well. So he calls himself the F word. I just don't repeat that. It's not a good word. And so I want to know why does Cal hate Nate so much? So he tells Nate that he is his biggest regret. And I'm just like, I would think that Aaron would be the biggest regret because like it stopped you from being with Derek, but I just don't understand why Cal has this hate for Nate. I can't figure it out. If y'all have theories, let me know in the comment section below, but what your theories are. But I just feel like he was just being so rude. Then he's spilling the tea like, Marsha, I know you got them letters from that camp counselor under your bed, them love letters. I saw them. I read it. It's okay. It's nice to feel like you were loved by someone besides me. It's okay, boo. He know everybody's secrets. Then he looked at the picture with the kids, y'all. The family in my family portrait. He looked at the picture, the family portrait that they had. And remember, he said we all have secrets. So this one I was like, yo, they gave baby Ashtray up, okay? That's where I'm at. I don't know what other theory we could have at this point. I'm going to look again to see, compare it to the first episode where we see baby Ashtray and see what's going on. But that's just how I'm on the bandwagon now. So he tells Aaron that the porn, the type of porn he has on his computer made his mouth dry. He's looking at gangbangs, like 15 million people nutting on woman's face, people pissing in people's ass. It's just a lot of stuff that Aaron was into. I was like, see? You can tell when people be watching too much porn. He was like, your mom saw it too. She the one who found it before you think it was me snooping. Then he tells Nate that his whole life is a secret. Like, I've lived with you, I've raised you, but I don't know anything about you. And he was like, well, I do know that you're angry. But he was just like, I'm sorry that I effed you up with my double life. And then Cal says the reason that he has a problem in the first place of living a double life is because of this family and that he isn't allowed to form an emotional connection, which sucks because he's actually an emotional person. And so he tells them that, you know, they set him free and he said farewell. He took the picture. He told them y'all can pick straws to figure out who's going to clean up this piss. The way that Aaron left, I said, I guess, you know, they left Nate to clean up his dad's piss. So I don't know what the heck is going to happen, but I just really need to know. I mean, I like that Cal is living his truth. I just don't feel like that was the way to go about it. Okay. But it's just the fact that he had his penis out the whole time saying this that had me dying at the same time. But I really want to know why Cal hates Nate so much. Like, he really hates Nate. And I just don't understand it. It is crazy to me how much he hates him. But as the episode ends, we show all of our characters, they're at this crossroads. They're all unhappy. They're all at this moment of uncertainty, this moment of despair. And I think we found everyone is pretty much at their breaking point at this point in time. So I find it interesting that as we hit the midway point of the season, that all of our characters have hit their breaking points. And it's interesting to see what's going to happen into next week. You know, with Rue, with Jules doing that Rue has actually relapsed and has been confirmed for her. And also too, what's going to happen with Fezco now that more people are looking into why Mouse is actually missing. I still want them to confirm that Ashtray is their little brother, because now I really believe it. And if y'all feel something different, let me know in the comment section below. What did you think? But those are my quick thoughts. They ain't no quick thoughts. It's like a damn 30-minute video. But those are my thoughts about Euphoria Season 2, Episode 4. The title, what is it? If you think you know. If you cannot see, think of those who can. As always, my name is Sharonda from Pair Waits. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends. Make sure you tune into the live after show that is actually happening right now. So when you leave, go click to the after show. The video is going to come up with the link and you can click it and do your thing. But I love you guys 3,000, and until I see you again, bye.